also the creator requires an explanation. Do you get the point?
I guess in my idea, the creator for me would be stuff like the four fundamental forces of the universe, stuff like gravity.
I would say humbly, then you have a reason why you don't want to believe in a creator. Because you don't mind accepting the idea that there is something eternal with all the attributes of God, but you would rather call it the universe rather than call it a creator. Then you would it's not a rational point of view. Then you have a reason deep down why you don't want to believe in a creator, which is fine. You can do that. We don't force anyone to believe or disbelieve. You get the point? But in the end, if you accept that the universe has the qualities of a creator, you are believing in some sort of a deity.
In terms of like the Bible says being rational, I think it'd be irrational to assume either or. That's why,
it would be irrational to assume that something that has a beginning requires something to bring it into existence.
Yeah, but the assumption that there's a creator, or the assumption...
Sorry? Because something is in existence. Do you believe someone made this book?
No,
you get the point, right? Because if something is in existence, you have to assume that there's something.
Whether the creator is the Islamic creator, or the creator is just the universe is always there.
Yes, that's a good question.
Or the creator was the Christian God. It doesn't matter for me. And I think rationally, there's no way to prove.
Can I tell you why it matters? It's a valid question, but first, if we ask that question, then we already assume there's something out there. But we're asking, what is the description? Is it Islamic description, Christian description, or a deistic description, where God is not even personal, does not deal with the universe, right? You say it doesn't matter. I tell you it matters a lot. Why? Because if the God of Islam were to be actually the God of Islam, as we assume, right? Truly, then if you die, there is consequences in the afterlife. There is hellfire, there is paradise. So it does matter because your life wouldn't end there. So if there is a creator, we need to make sure whether these claims and these books that are out there are actually real or not. If you were able to falsify Islam and Christianity, etc., then I would say to you, it makes sense what you say. We don't have any evidences for what the creator is, and therefore you can do whatever you want to do. But we claim we have evidences, right?
Why should I believe in Islam rather than other religions?
Good, because what Islam offers you is no other religion offers you. That's the whole point, right? We say, I'm making this claim now.
All of history. I don't mean Buddhism, Christianity, or Islam. I mean the millions.
In your religion, in general. Yes, we say if the Creator created you and is giving you a purpose, it's rational to assume that it's fine. It's easy for you to find the purpose. Because if it wasn't easy for you to find the purpose, then there is no point of giving you purpose to begin with. Now, if it's easy for us to find the purpose, that would be, I'll explain. I'll come to that. Purpose, why you were created, why do you exist, why you brought into existence, why the universe brought into existence, why is everything in existence, right? We say, if there is truth, it has to be in a religion which is easily accessible. Because, as you said, there is millions of religions. Every day someone is making a religion. If the truth were to be there, then it would be impossible for people to find the truth. Then there is no point for them to have something to be called truth to begin with. So we say, you have to look at the major religions that are easily accessible, investigate them, look at them, and you will end up finding that Islam is the truth. That's what I'm saying, right? So that's what I've did. And that's why that would be a rational thing to do. You don't have to accept my conclusion, but you would see, yes, but you would see that, which is a claim I'm making right now, and I'm willing to discuss with anyone, anytime, that Islam is the only religion that can provide evidence for its miraculous origin. That's the claim I'm making.
It doesn't give... You keep saying evidence, but your evidence is just this concept of a creator.
How do you know? You didn't ask me.
Oh, no, but when I asked how the universe was created, you mentioned that.
I'm talking evidence for Islam, not evidence for existence of God. It's two separate things, right? You were asking, we came to the idea of existence for creation.
Evidence of Islam and...
Evidence for the truth of Islam.
Yeah.
What it claims about that entity, the description of the entity, is different for whether the entity exists or not. They're two separate topics. You get the point? Like someone can believe in God, like this gentleman here, but doesn't believe in Islam. You get the point?
Yeah.
So Islam has evidence separate from the existence of the Creator in two separate topics. So I'm talking about Islam now. But when it comes to the Creator, even if I were to ask you this, who said that using reasoning and rationality and deductive reasoning is not evidence? Because I am giving you evidence through deductive reasoning. Why is that not evidence?
God gave us a reasoning mind.
So we say that even rationality is a form of evidence, you know?
It's a false conclusion.
Why? Tell me what about what I gave you in the reasoning is forced?
What, that because something happened, there must be a creator.
Did I say that? You're
no,
misrepresenting my position.
in terms of the start of the universe, you said there must be a creator which created the universe.
I said if the universe is in existence,
Yeah.
repeat what I said. I said the universe is in existence. The universe has a starting point. It requires something else. It requires something else. Yes.
It's technically not actually starting. There's,
What is it then?
We don't know technically.
We reach infinite conclusions and we don't know.
We don't know if there was a beginning of time. The Big Bang was a time where matter, where the universe expanded. We don't actually know if there's a starting point in time because we can't see back.
We don't even we can't even understand.
So we don't know what before the Big Bang starts. It's not.
Did the universe do we say that the universe we're living in started expanding from the point of the Big Bang or not? Started expanding before the Big Bang?
I'm not
From the time. Okay. These two separate fields now, right? We say we reach infinite equations when we reach the point of the Big Bang. That's what physicists say. They say we reach infinite equations. Means all laws does not apply there. All laws of time, space, etc. does not apply there. So whatever was there was not physical. That's in our terms of physical, right? So now we have to move to something. Right? Energy.
And Christians believe God is spirit, God is outside space and time, God is eternal. So we are creatures of space and time. Einstein.
Yeah, we also don't believe God is a physical being like us that you can touch, right? But I need to go as well, like you. But just consider what I said, right? Look into what I said. I was going to talk to him about whether even if you not adopt the idea the universe is eternal, there is still evidence that the creator is there. That's what I was discussing with him, right? But
you just don't know.
There's no evidence. So where's the evidence?
you just don't know what.
I think it could. It's definitely a possibility.
I'm not denying that.
Even by the scientific methods. But it's definitely not the same.
But there's no evidence which says that there is.
But you have to. What's your name?
Right.
Rave. Wouldn't you agree with me, Rave, and maybe we can end on this, wouldn't you agree with me that you need to first look at the evidence before you make the claim that it's just a possibility and it's not absolutely true? You need to first look at the evidence that are there, that are being presented, to actually say whether it's true or not. Would you agree that's a fair position to have? Or would you deny it without looking at it? No, I'm saying it's the fair position. You're saying it's a possibility, it's not absolutely true. That's what you're saying. I'm saying, don't you need first to investigate and look at the evidence before you make that conclusion that it's just a possibility? You first look at the evidence. Maybe there is evidence that proves that it's not just a possibility, right?
Sure, but
then you can make your conclusion, which would be a fair position.
I think.
But in that sense of the possibility, your whole.
I don't believe it's a possibility. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I can provide evidence to show that it is not a possibility, but you are saying no, it is just a possibility. So I'm saying investigate and look at the evidence.
How we know that this creator who was there before the Big Bang and all matter that we live in was this Islamic creator?
But you asked that question before, and I did answer that question before.
No,
because I feel like you're going in a circle now. I was saying, look, if I were to give you evidence that this book is not the Quran, but it's a different book, if you wouldn't know, it's in Arabic, it's a classical book, right? 300, it's written maybe over 1,000 years ago, so you wouldn't know, right? So let's say this book here, I have evidence, whatever that type of evidence is, convincing evidence that it is from God, right? And let's assume this book is the Quran. Then if I have evidence convincing that this cannot come from a human being, then that is a valid evidence to assume that the creator is the one that Islam is describing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So if I have evidence that the Quran is from God or from a divine nature, from a nature,
you have evidence.
I do have. That's what I'm saying. I do have.
What is the evidence?
There are multiple possible interpretations of the Quran.
Gospel? What do you say?
There are multiple possible.
Possible, yes. I wouldn't say that necessarily, but yeah.
That to me tells me that you can't know for sure if there is just God before the Big Bang.
How did you make a conclusion from? How did you move from different interpretations of the Quran to God?
You were saying you know for sure. You don't think it's a possibility that there was God before the Big Bang?
No. I was asking a different question. He was saying, how do you know it's the Islamic God? And then I said to him, I answered it. He was talking about the Islamic God. So that's why I was telling him in the beginning, there's two different topics. The existence of God and the evidences for it is different from Islam being the truth and has the right description of God, right? So I was saying, you get what I'm trying to say, right? So this is what I was answering.
I don't believe in actual God that I do believe in religion.
Okay.
Without.
You said materialistic God, did you say?
Yeah, it's material.
We don't believe that God is physical as well. You can touch him and you can kill him. We don't believe that.
I don't think like that any kind of God which actually exists.
Why? So that's just like saying you just say you don't believe in a creator, right?
No, but
Yes,
on one hand,
agnostic.
on one hand, I don't believe that. On the other hand, I don't believe you can prove it.
Yes.
But to me, that doesn't.
You don't believe I can prove it.
That doesn't.
Where's
I
the
don't believe you can prove either way. But to me, that doesn't devalue religion.
You said your name is Raven, yeah?
Right.
Rave.
To me, I don't think that religion is actually harmed by that fact.
I understand what you're saying, but what you just said there kind of sums up the whole discussion. Why? Because when you say you don't believe there is evidence anyways to prove the existence of a God, then what is the point of me trying to prove the existence of a God? You get the point of what I'm trying to say. If I say to
It
you,
works the other way as well. For me, I don't think you can disprove.
I understand. But in the end, there is an answer. Like, it's either God exists or God doesn't exist, right? This is a reality now. It's either there is a God or there is no God. You're saying I cannot prove there is or there isn't, but there has to be an answer
I'd say,
whether there is or there
it's more of
isn't.
a Schrodinger's answer. So both
Is there a third
it's in
proposition?
Just both. Like, if you can't differentiate between them, then both.
God exists and he doesn't exist at the same time.
Both are equally valid.
Do you know what the law of non-contradiction is?
So yeah, but I'm saying both are equally valid.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you know what the law of non-contradiction is?
These are two completely improvable things, though. These are
You
incredibly
can't
complex.
prove either way.
These are incredibly complex.
I'm disagreeing with the idea that you cannot prove. But I'm saying if I were to take your position, if you say both are equally valid, you invalidate the law of non-contradiction. It's like basically saying
It's not.
no, but you're saying both are valid. You're saying the existence
for
of God is
example,
valid and the non-existence of God is valid, which means that he exists and he doesn't exist in the same time, which validates the law of non-contradiction.
For example, okay.